Ladies and gents, we've no microphone tonight, obviously with the COVID, it'll be pass the virus around the room. So fortunately, our director Rugby's got a nice strong voice, and the two boys hopefully will follow suit. I just need to make one quick announcement, just to let you know, if you've been on the website you'll know it. Next weekend Premiership Rugby's back. We're showing all the games Friday night, all Saturday afternoon, Sunday afternoon, food available. So get yourselves down please, buy some beer, enjoy some rugby, and we'll love you forever. Okay, so first of all, thank you for coming out on what is a lovely evening tonight and supporting us as you always do. Initially, just before we get into the boys, we're just going to ask Martin to address the room and just make a few comments, a little bit I think on last season, and then as much as he can say going forward. So if you just show your appreciation for Martin, please. Thank you.
Thanks a lot everybody for turning out. If I sound unprepared, probably because I am, this was Nick and John's idea, and I've ended up shooting back up from Birmingham. Took me stuff in at home to get down here, etc. Yeah, thanks a lot everybody for turning out. Strange times, aren't they?
Yeah. Yes.
Just like the government, don't know what to do for best running the country, and you can filter that right the way down. The RFU don't know what to do for best with regard to running the game, and indeed us with the club. If we start, dripping stuff out now, it's going to be like a long, bloody painful exercise. Everybody's second guessing when will we be able to get back playing, when will we be able to get back doing something. We want to keep people interested, we want to keep the club together, etc. But it is, very difficult times, and whatever you do won't suit everybody. But as we're now getting to a situation where, boys are getting signed, I think we've got about 20 boys signed up for next year. We say, right, okay, we'll take a gamble that we're going to be starting training October-ish, maybe beginning of October, on the RFU's roadmap that they put out, these various stages, A, B, C, D, and they said that there's 4 weeks between the last two, so I'm taking that they're saying they'll give us 4 weeks notice when the season will start. The issue with that is, I think, if you said to most coaches about a pre-season, they honestly would say that, 6 weeks minimum, would you reckon, Zach?
Well, I probably need about
They probably need 6 weeks minimum, but it looks like we'll get 4 weeks. So we work it equally every time. We're all watching the news. If the infection rates and what have you go up, then it's the start date is further back. So it's very difficult times, and like Tony says, many thanks for turning out. And as soon as we possibly can, we will get stuff back into place again. Last year, what happened? As my style is, you say it as it is. Last year was a disaster from start to finish. We spent enough money, and at the beginning of the season thought we had a squad that was going back, and we went down a blind alley basically, and the whole thing started to unravel. When after Christmas we started putting it back together again, because you have to give a time for any structure you put in place. You've got to give it a time. When after Christmas we put it back together again, and Mr. Salvin was making, I think everybody would agree, some progress.
Yeah.
Of course, we were just in that final straight, and I think most people would have put the money on us to claw Moseley back. And then, of course, coronavirus strikes, and then our league. If we'd have been Moseley, we'd have gladly taken it. And our league, the RFU, were the only league in the world, I think, that did what they did. The Scots declared their season void, and the Welsh declared their season void, and everybody that doesn't rely on heavy sponsorship, which they give back if they don't complete seasons, like Premier Football and Premier Rugby, everybody declared their seasons void. But our lot decided they would play God and decide what the remaining matches were going to be, and we're out. Now, don't feel sorry for us because we got it wrong. We don't have a divine right to anything. We got it badly wrong. The value for money last year was so poor, it was untrue. So what do you do about it? People said, oh, you're going to appeal? Are you going to? No, we're not. We're just going to get on with it. Because if we are what we think we are, like I said, we've got no divine rights to anything. If we are what we think we are, we will get back this season. Again, in terms of budgets, we are recruiting players that we honestly believe are going to win the divisions. And you have to think like that. Don't start a race if you don't think there's any chance of you winning the thing. And we're doing that again this season. I think you're going to find this year, certainly what I'm aware, there will be a different feel. There will be more experience, perhaps in the thinking positions, in the halfbacks, front row, etc. And perhaps more experience through the team than we've had in the last couple of years. That's certainly the feel I'm getting.
Is that an age thing then, for this team that we've got?
Yes.
An age thing.
An age thing, but also, don't take this the wrong way, even our young lads have had another year, haven't they, as well?
Yeah.
So the two combined, and suddenly you're going from looking at a squad where not a lot of people had experience of first team football. Hopefully next year there'll only be the odd person, if you like, I'm not going to say gamble, but the odd person that you're having to bring on. Before I'd say a few words about the first two lads, does anybody want to ask me anything? We'll do it at this stage as we're talking. Does anybody wonder about anything? What's this, what's that, what are we doing here?
The 20 that you've signed up already, that have put pen to paper, I'm presuming, how many of those are last season's players?
Yeah, we're guessing off the top of my head I would say about half an hour.
Right, so the people that you have signed that were not with us last season, are they all localish peoples or?
Yeah, mainly, yeah. The game is changing. There is, like everything else out there, there is no money. The championship clubs are getting no funding. They're all going part-time. Boys are now looking at having to do work, and rugby is spending money. That then means that most people look towards home. Most people drift back to where they come from. So there's a lot of that. If you're wanting to attract a player in from out of area, you've got to give them enough money to live on. They can't walk into an area and get a job. Now we've got, see Lindsay stood over there. Lindsay's working like Billy O, getting lads into jobs, creating jobs in certain educational establishments, so that we can say to players, look, here's work for you, and B, here's a match fee. So it's changing. You've got players who could command a decent salary in the championship. Suddenly they've got a whole set of new criteria for who they're going to play for next year. It's got to be, where's my career? Where's my family? Etc. So it is massively changing.
Can I ask you, say when we get the notice, it'll be 4 weeks notice for training. Can we not, are any of them getting together and train? I think, is it the group B where it's 6 people, a maximum of 6 without contact? Are any of them getting together in this group B that the RFU have status A to F, and we're at B at the moment, which states that 6 of you can get together without contact for some training to get to know each other or do something? Or are you expecting them to keep the fitness up and just train on your own, in your own time back home?
You know, when we talked about local and localish, what do you call local? Because I call local
Yorkshire.
Yeah. But then you say
That's
to
what I meant.
somebody, come from Halifax to run up and down in straight lines with 5 other people. Well, don't take it the wrong way, but I can stay in Halifax and run up and down, particularly now when I'm working.
So are you asking them to keep the fitness up?
That's, hey, I'm not
No,
being
you're
funny, I
asking
never
them
earned
to
a
do
penny
it
for
anyway,
playing
so
rugby, but I trained every day.
I mean, you know, two lads here.
Yeah, no, I think as lads we've kind of just took it upon ourselves. And all the lads still speak obviously. We don't know all.
Keep your fitness.
Yeah, we don't know all the new lads, but the lads that have stayed and even lads that have gone off, everyone kind of in the rugby, they're still training because you're used to by now being in full pre-season and everyone's done that. I've lived since I was 5, so your body get used to the training, so you kind of expect to train. So most lads I've spoken to, there's not a lad I haven't spoken to where they've gone, nah, I'm just sat on my arse eating cake.
You can see he's
You can see, I was going to say,
he's not doing that. He's not looking out to do something. It's a joke.
So let's move on then. First 2 signings to announce. Obviously, if we were to start with our squad and we wanted to sign number 1 player, come up here, Zach Poole.
Yeah.
Obviously, Zach is a very popular individual about the place, and as we know, rugby is about athleticism and is about ability to play, but also, fortunately for Zach, it's about the character and the personality. That was an attempt at a joke, by the way. So Zach is back on again. I'm going to make a statement, Zach, and you can tell me what you think to it.
Go on.
Right. Bear in mind, and I just said to Penny, and she reminded me, my first season here was 1978-79. So that's why I can say what I can say.
Yeah.
Right, that Rotherham Rugby Club is the best rugby club in this country, bar none. So what would you say if I make that statement?
Well, I'd back it up, and they're the reason that I've stayed, and they're the reason that I've fell in love with the club, and that's why I'm still here. Because I could quite easily go to my local club and just pass the ball about and play rugby. Because I love playing rugby. I don't play for anything. I just love rugby, and I'd play for free. And I'll probably. Yeah, that was it. But no, I think to myself, I'll play until I can't play. So I could quite easily go
60
local.
minutes then.
65. Last 15, I try my hardest. But I'd play, so there's a reason that I travel 45 minutes, and that's because it's such a good club, and it's not just the rugby, it's the fans, it's the club. I think of it as a club. It's not a team. It's a typical rugby club, and that I grew up in a rugby club, so I know what it means to be part of it. So you're not just out on the pitch for 80 minutes and then going home. You're here before. You've soaked up the atmosphere. All the fans are here. You play the game. You win or lose. You might get a bit of earache off some of the fans, but we know you're behind us. And then afterwards, you come in here, and sometimes you can't move, and everyone's patting you on the back and knows that you've just put your heart on the line for the club, and that's massive. And that's why I think this club is absolutely class, and that's why I'm staying, and I should stay for the next few years.
Well done, that man.
You've got the advantage over me, because I think in 14 seasons, something like that, I captained the club, you could count on one hand, and it was always if the captain was injured. I never got to captain this club for a season or whatever. What kind of an honour is that, and what kind of responsibility is it?
I just think honour's the key word, because last year at the start, I had a good first year, was all new lads, and then kind of went into the second year, and I'm not the oldest of captains. I'm only 22 now, so when I got captaincy I was 21, and to be fair, Jenks didn't really make it easy. He didn't tell me I was captain. It was like, right, you captain for this pre-season game, and then the Tuesday called me in the office and said, "This doesn't mean you're actually captain." So he brought me back down to earth, which is probably what I needed. And then when it did get announced, it's massive because you're not just taking on the responsibility of 15 lads. You feel like you're taking the responsibility of the club, and you want to win. And I'm massive on winning. I hate losing. I'm a bit of a sore loser, really. After the game, if we lose, I don't want to have a beer. I just want to salt. I still do, obviously. But no, I'm not a good loser, and I think that's what you need to be a captain and drive forward. And I'm not a captain that'll stand up and say the perfect words, but I lead by example, and I'll put my heart on the line, and I hope the other 15 lads follow me.
So then, on that statement, what you've said then, are we presuming that you will be this season's coming up captain?
No, nothing's nailed, nothing's
Right.
granted.
Because you said that it was announced that you were club captain. As far as I'm aware, I don't recall that actually being said.
Right. Don't make them complacent, man.
Right.
Etc.
Is that how it
Hey,
works?
come on, we know what we think about
Yes,
Zach,
okay.
and I would think there's a good chance of that.
Okay.
But life is, hey, who'd have thought last bloody March,
Yeah.
etc. So
Anyhow,
Nothing
on
has
behalf of
been nailed.
supporters, welcome back that man.
great stuff. Now the next, can I introduce the next player, Zach? Yeah. And then you can do the question answers from them both. Last year we had an Argentinian kid joined us just after the start of the season. He got a shoulder injury right when he was starting to get game time and all the rest of it. So we didn't see that much of him. Well, he can't come back this year. But fortunately, we've got his twin brother who looks exactly like him, only he's about 3 stone heavier. So I will call him Gus Major. Right? So if you want to come up here, Gus Major. So you're pleased to be back? You're pleased to have signed, Gus?
Yes, of course. Yeah, I'm so happy about that, honestly. Yeah. It's how Zach said before, like this is a family and it's a club. It's not just team and supporters. It's everything together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it looks like you've had a good summer. It looks like you've been... Bill McLaren used to say when there was brothers and one was a big one and one was a little one, you could tell who was first to the meat trough.
Yeah, honestly, I had a lot of meat, a lot of proteins, a lot of gym, and yes, we are a little bit heavier, but happy about that.
When I played moved from the back row to the front row and I had to put weight on, they gave us steroids.
Oh no, never.
Whoa, let me finish. Steroids in a tin. They were made by Ambrosia. It's called rice pudding. If you have a tin of rice pudding after your evening meal every night of the week, and trust me, etc. Has it been some work then, putting the weight on, the size on?
No, nothing.
No?
No. Just gym, run, food, and that's it. No, nothing about like steroids or this type of strange things.
No,
It's not for
I
me.
was only joking.
No.
I was only joking. Honestly, stick to rice pudding.
All right, I will try. Probably Lindsay can make it.
Well, listen, we're glad to have you back, Gus.
Yeah, thank you very much.
And we're looking for a good season this year.
Yeah, I will.
Ah.
We will.
You two have been around the place. We're all winners, Zach. Everybody in this room wants to win, etc. Are we confident that we can get out of this division this year?
Oh, first shot. We're not sticking around. We're going in, we're going to do a job, and we're going to get out of the league. That's what I think anyway.
Yeah, I completely agree with Zach. So this year is for go on top and exit for this division. Definitely, yeah.
Great stuff. Tony? Yeah.
So the boys are here. We're going to see them again in the current climate. So now's the opportunity. If you've got any questions to the lads, further questions to Martin, let's make the most while we're all together. Let's make another 10 minutes out of this evening if we can. So has anybody got a question for anybody up here? Gentlemen in the far side.
Have we got any signings that are harbouring injuries before we start?
I'll refer you to the director of rugby.
Not that I can think of. No, I mean, it's been a long time, hasn't it? There's a lot of recuperation. There's March when we went into lockdown. So we are we're going to be 6 months in. Most people are, I've been through a recuperation stage, etc. Last year as well, if you remember, it's pre-season. Like Ricky Stout, knee. That was a bad loss at start of season. Ricky brought some experience into the front row. He is now, I know he's originally from Plymouth, but he lives in Rotherham, he lives in Whiston, he's marrying a local girl, etc. We really could have done with Ricky all the way through. For a long period last year, if Will Dennis had got injured, we were snookered. It really was, you know, I'm not trying to make excuses, but if it could go wrong last year, it did go wrong. But the answer is, I'm not aware of anybody carrying any injuries.
Thanks for that. Good question. Yes, Paul.
Paul? Yeah. As a new spectator to the club, there'll be interest from a lot of people, and I'm sure everybody wants to come and watch all the games. You're going to have to take some major steps about spectator spacing and using. You seem to gather as a new person coming here down that side, no use of the top end. Perhaps some provisions could be looked at. If you want to get your spectators coming back, you're going to have to be spaced out in the current legislations. They've got some steps towards that.
Yeah. Like everything, like these black and white, yellow, whatever. I mean, I was in here when I called in when the councilwoman was going around approving it. I never even heard of an expression called vertical drinking. No vertical drinking. It means standing up. What was it, Lindsay? No music. No, what I'm trying to say is we will do everything right. And so, yeah.
People have to need that confidence to come to watch a game, and they're going to be socially isolated within the limits that you've got.
Yes, and there's plenty of room out there, the appropriate social distancing and all the rest of it. They probably won't let us get back to playing until all that lot is a thing of the past anyway. Yeah. I don't know. So we'll review it at every stage.
Allocate the spaces when you
Yeah.
Kevin? Things were back to normal, we'd be doing a single night, so it's a night training session.
And what session, sir?
So I think are you saying when we come back, is it going to be doing still 2 nights a week rather than 1 night?
True. Yeah,
So
we would not.
Just so everybody can hear the question. So the question was, when we do come back, will we drop down to 1 night a week training, or will it go back to 2 nights?
We'll train 2. For want of a better expression, in pre-season, we do 3 sessions. The Tuesday night, Thursday night, Saturday mornings. And then when we get into the season, it'll be Tuesday nights and Thursday nights.
If there's any more questions, because if not, just to kind of wrap it up, I just want to say a massive thank you. Personally, I'm not on social media or anything, but I get told what's going on, and I saw that there's a massive crowdfunding, and I saw that pretty much every single fan put their hand in their pocket and helped out. So I just want to say a massive thank you for that, because it goes a really long way. And I know that at this stage, not everyone's got the money spare to be spending, but a lot of you still did. So just a massive thank you from me, all the players, all the coaches, absolutely everyone, because it's massive and it's a big help. Thank you.
I think the idea now to bring interest to Friday nights, to give us a reason to congregate and all the rest of it, the idea is to announce 2 more players every Friday night.
Can I just remind everybody, Zach did get the Supporters Club Player of the Year as well, and say congratulations to Zach.
Well done, that man.
Sorry?
You played every game.
Yeah. I don't get rest. I don't want to either.
So 2 full seasons, all the games.
Yeah.
Another question from the Forsyther, yeah.
No said social media. Are we getting the websites and things updated with players and current players and everything as well?
Yeah, of course. So tonight's the first night that we've announced our new players. So as we start to build on that, we'll update the website. There's work going on at the moment just to... They've sent us a provisional fixture list which we're contemplating putting out, but that may change, so we don't have to put that up only to you guys pull it down.
Just on that, because I found it strange when they've announced the first half of the fixtures. Are you aware of this?
Yeah.
And then it's like, so you start week 1, and I think we were drawn against Chester week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. Now, if we don't start till, these are silly examples, please don't anybody stick anything on that I've said we'll start then or I won't. These are just a daft example. If we start week 7, you start with who you were drawn to play week 7, but then when you get to the end of week 15, you start again with week 1.
Yeah.
If you follow what I mean. And if I understand what they're saying correctly, is whoever on high has deemed it that for it to be a meaningful season, for them to be promotion and relegation, we've got to play half the games. So you've got to get them 15 in. Which takes us back to when league started, because you used to have like half friendlies, half league. You played a team either at home or away, not both.
Not both.
And then it was like, if we can start the season by such a day, after playing that half of fixtures, then we'll do this. We'll divide the league up, the top 8, the bottom 8, and they'll play each other, and they'll play each other. And there's a series of permutations from that point, dependent upon when we can start. But the starting premise is that to have a meaningful season, you've got to play half the games, and they are the half of games. So, and I think really, to get a meaningful season, we've got to start it by about the new year, haven't we?
The latest point they've advised at the moment is the last weekend in January, and you can get we can have a meaningful season that results in promotion relegation if we start by the last weekend in January. That was our last directive.
And that's to go until when, bearing in mind?
That's to go till the standard regular season ending of the last weekend in April. They will, if they have to, dip the toe into May. They will not go into June.
I've heard as well that the county fixtures that a lot of lads play anyway in May have been cancelled.
Yeah, I mean, the game's in turmoil. The RFU have made, was it half the staff, third of the staff, whatever it is, redundant. No county games, no age grade game, no under 20s, etc.
The Yorkshire Academy's gone.
Yeah, the Yorkshire Academy's gone. It's just dreadful, really. But
So we need to be thankful that we've got some sort of season coming forward.
well, you know,
Some sort of season.
the only thing with our game is there's no like imperative for us to get going if you're the RFU. I mean, the Premiership teams have to get their season finished because their sponsorship deals all say if they don't complete the season, they give the money back. So they want to get, whether it's behind closed doors or not, they want to play. They want to get the season finished. Whereas for us, those sorts of things don't apply. So, you know, you can imagine the RFU will be taking advice from their lawyers, no doubt. And the lawyers all the time will be saying, all these no-win, no-fee solicitors are out there waiting to sue you. Why take the chance?
Yeah.
They won't make a move until the government say it's okay, so then they can always pass the buck upstairs. And obviously we can't do anything until the RFU say it's okay.
Are there any thoughts about how it starts? Obviously you get 4 weeks notice, but what about any pre-season friendlies? Obviously Sheffield Tigers walked out the same week.
Yeah. So, I mean, what do you do at the minute?
I don't know, it's just...
Clifton School.
You know,
Obviously
what do you do?
You wouldn't want to go into
It's-
your first game being the first league game, would you? I wouldn't know.
It is the proverbial platting fog at the minute. Everybody's working on what ifs. You know, if this happens then that, if that happens then that. I don't know.
I think the main thing we've got to realise, everybody, is that the club, on the management side and whatever, their hands are tied by, be it the government, stroke the RFU. So whatever happens, we will be the last to know.
Yeah, and I'm thinking there,
Coming
Kevin, I
down
didn't really
that
thought about
umbrella.
pre-season, but you know, we'll all be worried if it takes a minimum 6 weeks to get boys fit enough, and in training games match hardened enough to play a game. Would you really send them out there in a pre-season friendly? You know, 2 weeks in, 3 weeks in. You wouldn't. You'll have more bloody injuries than you can shake a
This is
stick
the
at.
difficulty with that only having maybe 4 weeks. If you're only going to get together 4 weeks before season starts, whereas some teams like, for example, Wolfdale are in pre-season training, but it'd be 5 and 1 coach at the home ground. Maybe there were more even local players.
Yeah.
That's the difficulty, isn't it?
But it's a bit like when we used to do the summer run and have a game of football out on Erringfield playing fields. You know, it's that. I think it's a big ass dragging people from Nottingham or Halifax or whatever to do what they could do on end of the road.
It's just that getting the team bonding bit as well, isn't it, rather than just getting the fitness.
Wow.
Some are back in lockdown anyway.
Right.
Yes, please.
How much of a concern is it then that the players will be match ready when we do finally get
Oh, it's a massive concern. I was talking with Salvo about that in the week. Really is. What I was saying to him is, you're bringing in more experience in certain positions, but trust me, as you get to your late 20s as opposed to your early 20s, you know, you can't at the drop of a hat suddenly get out there and do it. And I was saying to him, we're going to have to watch the more elderly players we're bringing in, that they are, you know, that they are keeping themselves in shape. No, this is a very strange situation to manage.
Are we hoping that the RFU are going to give some cover to checking for COVID? The players?
I mean, if I understand it right, the Premiership teams are doing 60 tests, aren't they, on the day of a game or whatever?
Yeah, because that
It cost them like 8,000 quid.
I mean, there's a new test coming in that takes about 2 hours.
So I don't know we don't know. We don't know.
One player gets it, the squad's shut down.
It really is. There's so many variables that anything you say is virtually meaningless.
Any more, please?
You're doing a great job with what you've got, guys.
Tony? Right, like I said, welcome back to Zach. The same fold goes to welcome back to Gus. Welcome back, sir. Also, I'd like to say a big thank you for the club for having this event here. A lot of clubs are probably not even opening the doors yet. We've took the steps here to show supporters that yes, we are going to mean business, and yes, we are showing you who we are going to sign and have signed. So, gents, thank you very much.
This will all build up as well. Thanks, Mark, for that. And this will all build. We will still have a meet the players evening when we, at an appropriate time before the start of the season, when we know the season's going to start.
One more thing for me, I don't want to forget that for me, how Zach said before, massive thank you for everyone, Jenks, TJ, Lindsay, Matt, during the lockdown. For me, stay so far from my family was so difficult. So I want to say thank you for our support to me. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much indeed. Thank you.